Happy Monday, everybody. This is going to be just a very quick overview for how to find the grading rubric for the narrative draft. That's the one that's due this week on Sunday. So when you first log in, you'll see our announcements page, and you'll want to come over to the left-hand side to course information and click there. From there, you'll go to assignment guidelines and rubrics and click there. And there are quite a few rubrics in here, but we are looking for this one here, the first draft for the narrative essay. It's the checklist and the rubric. So you can click right there, and it should open in a new page for you. So this is an overview of the entire assignment, what we're looking for and how long it should be. We reiterate the prompt here for you again. So in a nutshell, what we want to see is listed right here. The components of the actual essay are down here on the second page. So once you have an idea of what you're writing from our discussion and you've developed your thesis statement, you'll want to maybe go through these numbers here, 1 through 8, use them as a checklist. Just make sure that you have already thought about each of these areas. This is actually a really good tool to use to start outlining your essay, just to make sure that all of the components will be addressed. And before you turn it in, you can take a look here to see what it is that we'll be looking for when we're grading and how valuable that is. This here, the value, that is the percentage of your grade. So for example, when we're looking for a central event or a conflict, that is worth 15% of your draft of the grade there. When we're looking at, say, the concrete details, that section is actually worth 20% of the grade. So use this as another checklist before you turn in the draft. Make sure that you have your central event or your conflict. Make sure that you've articulated your main point. Make sure that your point of view is consistent and clear. Offer concrete details. This is something that if it seemed like your topic or your direction was a bit vague in our discussion, I may have asked you for some follow-up in your discussion thread. So make sure that you offer details because this is a narrative essay. We want to know the details of what brought you to your main point. Make sure that it's structured logically. Sometimes people might turn in an essay that is more like a free write, and keep in mind that this is a formal essay, so it should follow a formal organizational structure. And there should be a resolution. If you're not quite sure how things are going to turn out in your narrative at this point, that's okay. You can still address this component though. A resolution could be something that you've learned from the experience so far, a final reflection on how things are going right now. You don't necessarily have to say that the conflict has been completely resolved, but you do want to give your readers a sense of closure. And then make sure that you formatted it properly. So it should be double spaced. You want to make sure that here we see it should be 2 or more pages long. We're aiming for 2 to 3 pages. And then your syntax and grammar. This is where proofreading comes in. If you like, you can have your essay proofread by someone from the writing center. You can ask a friend or a colleague to read it. All of those options are perfectly fine, but do make sure that you return and check your grammar and your syntax. So all of these areas add up to 100%. Since it's just a draft, we're not looking for exemplary work just now. Proficient will get you 100%. And if you have any questions about it, you can always come right over here to our discussion board, and you can come to our general questions and start a new thread here by creating a thread. And that will give you an opportunity to post any questions you have about the assignment. All right, happy writing!